The Lenten Lunchtime Lesson with Father Andrew of the Society of the Divine Compassion. Saturday after the first Sunday in Lent. Confidence in God. Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. 2 Kings 6, verse 16. Fear not. The words are spoken with absolute confidence and represent a wonderful spiritual sureness. The Old Testament is God's picture book, and this is one of the loveliest illustrations. The prophet's servant goes out in the morning, perhaps on the roof or to draw water from the well, and he looks round and sees the city surrounded by the horses and chariots of a besieging host. He comes running to the prophet, "Master, Master, what shall we do?" The prophet is undismayed and said, "Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them." The young man looks at him with incredulity, and then the prophet says, "Lord, open his eyes that he may see." And the servant's eyes are opened. He sees the heavenly forces that surround Elijah and protect him. We are told then how the eyes of the besieging host are sealed, that they may be led into Samaria. There they are given back to their sight, and the man of God sets before them the feast of charity. So they are sent back to their master, returning as friends who came as foes, for the gracious jester has brought peace. The Old Testament is God's picture book. The Old Testament is God's fact. We can compare this story of a supernatural help coming to a beleaguered people with a great fact, the recognition of the supernatural person who came to succor us, as told in the 16th chapter of St. Matthew's Gospel. The episode is divided into 3 sections: the recognition of the Christ, the revelation of the cross, and the vocation of the disciples. We see the group of men sitting around the one man, and from him comes that question which must come to every man and woman with any seriousness of character. Whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? There were many opinions, then as now. All held him to be someone out of the common. The opinion was put forth that he was a reincarnation of one of the old prophets, or the latest one, martyred by Herod, John the Baptist. The tremendous question follows, on which the whole of life's meaning hangs. But whom do ye say that I am? Peter makes the great answer, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." Fear not, we can say to ourselves, for that is with us. He is God himself. As soon as he's recognized as the Christ, our Lord begins to teach of the divine law of the love consummated in sacrifice. The story of the Old Testament was of supernatural intervention. The revelation of the New Testament is of supernatural grace. Victory won not by escape from suffering, but through love's deliberate sacrifice. Our Lord, as man, met life's difficulties, won man's victory, and offered as man and for man a human sacrifice of perfect obedience. In the story of Elijah, the men were given the feast of charity and sent back to their master, and it all ended happily. In the grandeur of God's revelation, the feast of charity was the gift of his own body and blood, and from that banquet he went forth to die. If any man will come after me, let him take up his cross and follow me. This is the vocation of the disciples. We are not led out of life's dark experiences, we are led through them. But the end is the victory, and it is all the more real because it has really been won. There cannot be peace without victory, or victory without war, the true war. Our Lord reveals himself as one who, in our nature, meets our experience, wins the victory, and presents to the Father the untainted humanity, which is our worship and our prayer. If Elijah could say to his servant, "Fear not, for they are with us, are more than they are with them," our Lord says to us all, "Fear not, for I am with thee." Not only does he say that, but he has given us his body and his blood. He says, "Fear not, for I am in thee, thou in me, and I in thee. And so thou canst be my Father's child, and do his will.